The affirmative has it, and the motion carries.
The vote to ban female pastors in SBC churches praised like a Sunday sermon.
It puts us all on the same page about what a pastor is and who a pastor is. A biblically qualified man.
Members at the annual convention in New Orleans today overwhelmingly favored a constitutional amendment that requires a church, quote, employs only men as qualified pastors.
And Saddleback Church is not in friendly cooperation with the Southern Baptist Convention.
The SBC also refused to reinstate California megachurch Saddleback, expelled in February for ordaining women pastors. Founding pastor Rick Warren made a futile appeal to the almost 13,000 church representatives known as messengers.
I'm not asking you to agree with my church. I am asking you to act like a Southern Baptist.
Well, there's some a little bit of tension going on there at the Southern Baptist Convention, as they were upholding their decision to kick out all female pastors. Apparently, according to scripture, that's not something that they want happening around. So at that convention, they did do that. And many of these female pastors were thinking, what the hell, bro? We've been studying, we've been doing our work. And I guess they've been having success with their congregation. But still, they're not a man. Here's more from what these pastors are afraid of and what is it that they're looking to expel in these women.
5 churches with female pastors have been expelled from membership recently, including Fern Creek Baptist in Louisville, Kentucky. Pastor Linda Barnes Popham failed to get its expulsion overturned as well.
This is a sad day for Southern Baptists because they are losing gifted and talented and called women of God. As we continue to proclaim the gospel, why they want to get rid of folks like us makes no sense.
What does this say to the millions of women in the churches?
It says to those women, you are not valued.
You are not valued. That's what they're seeing. So maybe they're trying to figure out exactly who it is they've been working with and how much they don't value them. I feel like I've seen this in other circles when it comes to many folks who want to limit people's rights, but then say that they're all about some level of equality. By the way that vote actually went down, this is where it began. NBC News pointed out that spurred by these arch conservatives in the SBC, the 12,000 or so messengers who had gathered at this annual meeting in New Orleans voted by a 9-to-1 ratio to seal that exit of potentially, as they point out, specifically that Saddleback Church and also a smaller congregation from Kentucky. That vote, which was conducted Tuesday, set the stage for another vote on Wednesday to amend the SBC's constitution to specify that Southern Baptist churches must, quote, affirm, appoint, or employ only men as any kind of pastor or elder as qualified by the scripture. Of course, and also there's a woman-led Kentucky church. They came out directly against that one. These Southern Baptists voted 9,700 to 806 to deny that appeal by Fern Creek Baptist Church in Louisville with Reverend Linda Barnes Popham. She's been leading for 3 decades. So the question then becomes, Jackson, so for 3 decades, 30 years, she's been leading this church, or at least a woman has in some form or capacity. And nothing has fallen apart yet. The roof hasn't come in. God hasn't struck him down with a lightning bolt. None of that has happened. Just these guys go, well, what if I could do that?
Yeah, it's just, this reminds me, because I actually grew up in a church, and this reminds me of a woman named Suzanne, who basically like family, her family and mine. But I grew up in a Presbyterian system, and it's pretty much the same. Like, women aren't supposed to be real ordained pastors, but this woman Suzanne, she could preach rings around every man in that church, every male pastor in that church. She could just relate, stories and passages in the scriptures to real life and just do it in an effective way. And I still remember it to this day. So, I have a lot of, well, not me personally, but I've witnessed experience with that, to where people still think that somehow, these are the rules of God. Oh, girls allowed. We don't want no damn femoids teaching us these, stories from the Bible. There's the tiny female brains can't understand it. The magic and the miracles, they can't understand it. It's stupid. It
might have more to do with how much influence, power, money is made by some of these folks, and they're thinking, well, we have a position to be there. We've always been in the position to say things like this. Man and then woman is a little bit below us. This might cause a couple of fractures in their entire makeup, because whenever there's a feeling or a thought of some level of equality and embracing female pastors, then these types of things happen from an organizational point of view. It starts to look like it's a systematic discrimination. Not just maybe one pastor here and there that has his sexist points of view. This was a decision, and they voted on it and cheered in front of the folks that they're kicking out.
Finally got it done.
It's odd. We got rid of these women. Now they're gonna stop walking around in front of the church and speaking. We can't have that.